Forgive me, today is one of those days where my brain isn't connected to my mouth, so I'm thinking one thing and saying another. Ah! So anyways, thought I'd... Hi everybody, I'm Renee Dowling. Welcome to my studio. My studio is called Reflections Art Studio and Community Classroom, where I teach visual journaling to people of all ages. My motto is be creative, be happy, be healthy. Today I'm going to show you a mini journal that I just finished. It was in response to me being asked to work with teachers at their school on a PD day, and it was a wellness day. But my challenge was I only had 1 hour to work with them. So this is a little book that I did. I did some brainstorming of some possible lessons that I could give to the teachers. And then the first 2 pages are what I actually did with the teachers. But they used it as a stepping stone, and some of them took it way further than what I showed in here. And then I'll also show you all my different ideas, and maybe it'll inspire you to do a mini journal. Normally I don't do these journals this small, but I enjoyed it so much because the process is much faster than in the larger journal. And so I think I'm a little hooked on the size, and I'm going to try to do some more of the size in the future. I will also give you a few scenes of my acreage around my studio. My studio is on my acreage, and people come to my studio usually. It's an art retreat in the country. And my motto is be creative, be happy, be healthy. So thank you for coming, and welcome to all of the new people that have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate the fact that you are showing me that you enjoy what you're seeing, and I feel very honored to be part of your lives. And see ya on the table with my journal. My art studio is in Southern Alberta, Canada. And I have 3 horses, and here my horses are grooming each other. They have been shedding because of the warmer temperatures. Unfortunately, today it was snowing, but yeah, they're grooming each other. You don't see that too often, so I thought you might enjoy seeing that. Now here, my horse Mary is drinking water, and I don't know if you've ever seen a horse drink water before. It's kind of gross, but kind of interesting too. This is an electric waterer, and it stays plugged in all year round so that the water remains unfrozen for the horses. I love the slurping sounds. The birds are starting to come out and sing differently than they did all winter. And we usually have 4 Canadian geese visit us every spring. As well as others, but these 2, they seem to always hang around and land on either my barn roof or my studio roof. So they're really fun to watch, and it's really fun to also listen to their different sounds that they make. So let's go a little closer. Welcome back. This weekend I hosted a birthday party in my studio. Here's what it looked like. As I mentioned in my videos before, I really like antiques. So some storage ideas that I love is getting old sewing machine drawers and filling them with art supplies. So this one has, the one in the middle has my brushes, and the one on the right has some ephemera, the one on the left some paint, palettes, Posca pens, ink. That one's a brand new one, it's empty. And at the bottom we have some random phrases and some random mark making tools. In the middle I also have some more sewing machine drawers. There's my inks. Some fountain pens, glitter glue, gotta love the glitter glue, some more nibs, and some more glitter glue. I have more drawers on my shelves, and down here again some more ephemera that I use with my clients, some scrap pieces of watercolor paper, and some more ephemera, some more paper, and then in these drawers, pencil crayons, some highlighters and Crayola crayons, and smelly markers, and those of course are mostly for children. They love those kinds of things. I was asked to do a wellness day with some teachers at a school, and they only gave me an hour to work with the teachers. So it set me into panic mode because normally my process takes 3 hours, if not more. And so I had to figure out what I was going to do to meet that time crunch. So I decided to take my regular journals, which is double, and cut it in half, and thought maybe the size would make a difference. So I practiced different things and discovered sometimes it was just going to take way too long. I had less than an hour or more than an hour. And then other times I came up with some ideas that would take less than an hour, and you could embellish it if you wanted to, or just do a whole bunch of pages. Normally I don't work this small, but I think I really enjoy it because it doesn't take so long to do a page. And this book I ended up calling Little Lessons because it was like little lessons that I could teach in a short amount of time. But then I also saw the word life in one of the book pages that I was working with while I was working on this page, and I thought I'd put Little Lessons of Life. So what I want to do is tell you a little bit about some things that I've done differently than I normally do. It might give you some ideas of what you can try. When I sewed this book together, I used a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Normally I only use 3. And I also use embroidery floss instead of the waxed jewelry linen. And it seems to be holding up really well. And it sort of was this, ended up being the main colors of this journal. So on this page, I decided that all the strips of paper that I was going to apply were going to be placed horizontally. And normally I just kind of place them around the perimeter in any old direction, but I thought I would try horizontal this time. Some other new things that I tried doing is I tried to not use gesso to cover up the edges. Instead, I used the watercolor paint and to go over each layer and bring it all together that way instead of using gesso and then adding color. This is new to me also. It's embossed wallpaper, and it's really puffy and kind of fun to touch. And the great thing is that you can always add color over top. I also use pages from a telephone book and some modeling paste with a stencil here. And you'll see that there's a theme of eyes throughout the book, and this is some of my doodles that I did in one of my journals that I have handmade paper in, and I decided that I wanted to use them in this journal. So throughout the book you'll see some eyes. And let's see what else. There's a lot of vintage receipt books and stuff like that in here. So this was the first exercise that I actually did with the teachers, and it was painting with a paintbrush, just using water and then tapping in different colors. And I said to the teachers that they could do whatever path they wanted to, like mine's all loopy, but maybe they are a zigzag person or more of a straight path kind of thing, or mountains or whatever. And so then I began with a prompt, hello, I am Renee, I'm an artist, and then just watched it unfold and to see where it goes. So it's sort of like stream of consciousness writing, but actually on a little stream or a pathway. And after I did that, like first of all, we just did the paint, and then we thought, well, we'll let it dry, so we'll go on to the next page. So then on this page, we just wet the entire page and then just tapped in colors. And again, I instructed the teachers to use colors that maybe reflect how they feel that day, or their favorite colors, or colors they haven't used before, like whatever. Let's kind of experiment and have fun. So some people blew the colors around. I asked them to breathe slowly and watch the colors intermingle with each other, and then let that dry. So as that page was drying, then we went back to this page and then did the journaling. Some people decided that they were going to be a little bit more brave, and so I had tables of pockets of collage paper, I had tables of mixed media, pencil crayons, felt markers, you name it. So I said to them, if you're feeling brave, keep going and use all these other things. Or if you're not feeling brave, here are several prompts. So I gave them I am, I wish, I want, I see, I love, or just kind of start writing whatever was on their mind. And then I came back to this page when I got back to the studio. Then I added my eye, and then I also said I see clearly now, because I had planned all of these different lessons, and really I only needed like 1 or 2 little tiny ones, and the teachers just took it off in their own direction. So on this page, then I said to them, you could put whatever you want, but you might want to put a quote or something about your life. So I put art fills my soul with joy, using different pencil crayon colors, put a little illustration, and then I also decided that I was going to journal. I find that if I journal sideways or vertical, then it becomes part of the background, and if I'm sharing this with anybody, it's harder to read. People don't often bother to turn the book around to read it. And then when I got back to the studio, then I also went around with some distress ink, just to make the pages come together cohesively. And that is one of the challenges. Normally I work across 2 pages, then I never have to worry about the pages looking good next to each other. But in this case, because of the time crunch, I wanted to work individually just to make sure that I had enough time within an hour. And then one of the other exercises was just to draw circles, like the circumference of circles or the perimeter of whatever shape people wanted. And this was just using monochromatic colors, and then again putting a quote across. I love this quote: above all else, we must be who we are in everything we do, no matter what others say. And then I added another eye. And then this was also another one, instead of doing just the circumference of the circle, paint inside the circle, and then turn the circle into something new. So I decided to turn mine into flowers, and then just picked a letter of the alphabet. In this case, it was P, so I put down passionate, possibilities, positivity, patience, and peace, things that I appreciate or desire. This page was also part of the first, was supposed to resemble this, but I wanted to make it a little short, but I forgot to push the video or the record button for this one, so I thought I'd redo it here. But it ended up morphing into something more because of this page. When I closed it up, the browns and the greens from this page went on this side. And so now I had to figure out how to problem solve and disguise it. And so then I decided to turn more circles into flowers, doing more journaling. And then I picked the letter H this time for the words in the circles, and then had to try and figure out how to integrate this page with this page. So I tried thinking to see if there'd be enough time to do a collage page, and I found that if I worked really, really fast and didn't think about anything, then we could do it. I tend to like to pick pages that are relevant to myself. And so on this one, all of the pages I glued down, or pieces of paper I glued down, were vertical instead of horizontal like the previous page. And then the only horizontal thing was this little quote or this little phrase that I found while I was gluing the pages down. And it said, "He is perfectly wonderful." So I thought I would go with that theme. All of my pages never really start out with a theme or an idea. I just work intuitively. And some things new that I've been using in this book are book pages that I've already stenciled on previously, so that it sort of shortens up the drawing time and wait time. And this is a little receipt book. And I was working with some teenagers prior to this workshop, and I played for them Trust Fall by Pink. And we were thinking about words or people that are trustful and what that is. And so I just happened to be writing down some of the key phrases on here. And so I thought it worked perfectly with "He is perfectly wonderful," because my husband is my trustful. And I did a little journaling here. Again, I didn't use hardly any gesso. Usually I would gesso over everything and then build layers on top of that. But I decided this time that I would just use gesso just for some mark making. And then just did a little pen and ink drawing of my husband without using a photo reference. So it's just kind of memory. So it's kind of cartoony, but it still does resemble things like his headline and his jawline and his kindness. And again, I tried to use some of the papers that I used on the previous pages. So I have the puffy wallpaper here. I have the receipt pieces of the receipt here. And then I always like to try to use different size text just to create some visual interest, and then also some contrast with black and white. And then some calm areas, some busier areas. And then also normally I tried to have like 3s of everything, but in such a small page, I thought, oh, I'll just go with color as the repeat instead of having the invisible triangle. But I've also created the invisible triangle, the actual focus here with the glued on focal point. And there are triangles with the white. They're just really subtle. So I thought I would go so really, really simple, and these I for sure managed to finish within an hour. But we never got to the stage with demonstrating because the teachers just loved the watercolor activity at the beginning. So this was then just me filling up this journal. So in this one, I have collage pages, pieces of paper going vertical and horizontal. And again, just tried to add a little tiny gesso just to kind of emphasize. These circles are just torn from, I did some jelly plate printing. And so these are just torn pieces of paper from the collage paper that I made using acrylic paint. And then just a little bit Stabilo all around the outside to emphasize it. Just real simple. And while I was looking at the book pages, it said, oh, I'm perfectly all right, except a little bit tired. And that's exactly how I was feeling when I was practicing all this, because I was kind of losing sleep at night, worrying about how much I could do in an hour. And so I was very tired. And again, trying to incorporate the colors from the previous pages into here. And then again, repeating a lot of the same collage papers that I used from previous pages into this page. I thought maybe if we would just collage down the side and a little bit on the other side, and then have save the inside for journaling, that might be interesting. And I kind of like, one of my challenges is to try and leave some white of the page showing. And it looks beautiful in other people's journals, but when it comes down to mine, I always feel like, oh, it looks unfinished. But I kind of like it in that I did have some little bits of white going down here. And then continuing the theme of the previous page of the Trust Fall, one of the lines in Pink's song was close your eyes. And so this is about, I journaled about closing your eyes and what do you see when you close your eyes? Fields of green, mountains, waterfalls, rolling hills, what do you see? And this piece of collage paper is also repeated on many of the pages, and that is like a tea cozy from Starbucks teacup. And then trying to just kind of lead your eye over here with some vertical lines against horizontal lines, so that's contrast. And again, here's another one of my eyes. And this is sort of the same idea as on the previous page. Again, just collaging on part of the page, and then just a little tiny bit on the other side. So it's repeating the 3-circle idea. 3 circles. And again, this was another little phrase that kind of popped up as I was tearing my book pages. She had dreamed of seeing. So I thought, oh, it's perfect. All of these pages have eyes and about seeing the world. And so I went with that too. And another eye. And then I just tried to make the eye color match the page. And one of the secrets of journaling too is try to choose a color that you already have on the page instead of using black, and then it sort of blends into the background. And then this was the last page that I was brainstorming before I went and met with the teachers. And this was, again, color or painting with water and then tapping in different colors to make bubbles. And normally I would put text on it or something else, but I just loved the way it looks, so I'm just leaving it. And so again, the colors from here are repeated over here to try to make it be cohesive. And then on the back, I did some more collaging. And again, most of the pages are horizontal, except for this page right here. And then this is also repeating from the front page and throughout. And then I love this quote I found: "Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it," by Maya Angelou. And there's another one of my eye, and I just love the fact that this little piece of paper that I collaged had the word "looking" on it. It's like, oh yes. And then here's my little carrot people. I did a whole bunch on just some brown paper bags and been tearing them out and gluing them down as focal points instead of trying to make them blend into the background. I'm just leaving that color. And then also this little phrase popped out: "What is the most valuable thing?" So I thought it kind of related to the success idea. So like I said, and often my books, my journals don't have a theme, but as you can see, there's the theme of the eye, of seeing, of looking throughout this one. So just kind of happy little evolvement. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to make a journal about seeing or put a bunch of eyes on. It was just kind of at the moment, it's like, oh, I did have this page of eyes. Let's see if I can incorporate them into the journal. I always sign each page and date it because I like to see like what time of year I did things, and it also reflects the colors that I use often. And so I hope you enjoyed seeing my mini journal. Here's my picture of my eye up close. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment area. And I'd really like to thank all the people who have joined me and subscribed to my channel lately and have left comments. It's really enjoyable commenting on YouTube with you. And if you're new to my channel, welcome to my studio. I hope you like and subscribe. And let me know if you prefer me not to give you little tours of my studio inside and out and just jump into the journal flip-throughs, or if you would like me to do the journal flip-throughs first and then do the tour after, or not at all.